Greetings, everyone. This is Sarah, the Terror of Death 99, aka the Black Cobra, and this is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Now, I do apologize for the late start. I had some work to take care of. Anyway, now, I did tell you I was actually coming back to continue this case. Now, I don't think I need a recap for this, but I will give one in case you actually need one. I have to ask you, why did you help your sister out as much as you did? If you had tried to get help at the Sacred Cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there. Anyway, if you need a recap, I'll give one. Now, we actually found out that Misty Faye's actual killer was not Maya Fey. We actually found out that the actual killer was the currently dead Dahlia Hawthorne. And we also found out that Dahlia Hawthorne actually was not trying to help her own mother. She was actually doing it for her own interests. Main reason why, to kill Maya Fey, and to actually get revenge on Maya's now dead sister, Mia. Anyway. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either. Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it? Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago? That is one thing we don't know about yet. The other thing we also don't know about is we don't know who the actual killer of Misty Faye actually was. Now, I did say it was Dahlia Hawthorne, but that was actually not true. We actually found out that it was Maya Fey who was actually channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit. There's still a few things that we don't know about yet. Mainly, two main questions. One, who actually killed Misty Faye? And two, why? Dahlia's stepsister Valerie ended up dead, as did Terry Falls. That was the case that wounded Mia so badly she became a defense attorney. Some people, you must mean two defense attorneys. Exactly, the Edgeworths. Or not. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was too close to getting to learn the truth, Dolly even tried to kill the person when unknowingly hid the poison for her. Me. That's right. Iris. There's one more thing I have to ask you. On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, Elise Dunham, was it really you? That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. Got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple. The lightning strike. Path to the inner temple was cut off, right? There you go. That's the other thing we don't know. Who was actually on the other side of Dusky Bridge? We know Maya was there, but who else was there? That is what else we don't know. I will say that I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to live stream for long tonight. But when I come back tomorrow, we will finish this. I will continue though for tonight. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff. Brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile. But why? Why did you alter the body? Didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the shito. Wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer. I see. So she can't do it. She can't, or... Here's the question. She can't, or she won't. That is what we really don't know. Yes. So it's true. Iris cooperated with the real killer. Maybe even from the very beginning. Mia? How is Maya doing? I figured. I see. You don't mean she going to at least Dunham really was. Once the medical officer talked with her, told everything I knew. But why? What do you mean by that? The trial is about to restart. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet? Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but still. I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the inner temple. The criminal wasn't just there by accident, which means that the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. The victim was moved to Hazakura Temple side of by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day. Very well. Thank you, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see, anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. I hope you're ready, everyone. Because we're getting close to the end. I'm not going to be able to finish this tonight, but trust me, this is going to be very shocking when you eventually find out who the killer was. And in fact, you're not only going to find out who it was, you're also going to find out why they did it. Now then, before we proceed any further, we're going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Very well. The weapon that Mai Fei used was used when she fought with the victim. What are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or... Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, it's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now then, let's continue. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. It must have been the killer's. This trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. Understood, Your Honor. Agreed. Very well. Please bring in the last witness. Witness, please tell us your name and occupation. Very well. Maya. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Korean channeling technique. Maya. The pain the Fae bloodline causes must be unbearable. Well. Now then, Miss Faye. When the event occurred, you were in the garden at the inner temple. And you witnessed a moment of Miss Elise Dunham's murder. Is this correct?
Objection!
Go Doe! please. Very well. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me." And something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. So you were struck on the head. Suppose it must have been the staff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? Maya, think hard. Very well. Go ahead, Your Honor. Hang in there, Maya. She doesn't look well at all. Hold it! Who else was on the inner temple side that night? Remember saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said? Hold it! Who was it who hit you? Struck from behind. You didn't see this person? After that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Maya's really having a hard time. I apologize for that, everyone. Been a little under the weather recently. Come on, Maya, this isn't making any sense. Why didn't you see this person? It's not good enough to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training. There was an earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime, which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not. Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely the spirit that was channeled by Elise Dunham, Dahlia Hawthorne. Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head? Hold it! What happened afterwards? State of panic. What were these two things rolling around your mind? What did you do then? Wait. Hold it! Hold it! You think you screamed, but you're not sure? Thought this person might attack me, so I thought that's my last hope. Sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. I wonder what she meant by last hope. Do I press her for more detail? Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? That's what you said. You said my last hope. Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me." And you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Maya's not doing so well up there. What? What is it now? Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker there was another person? What? He does have a point there. Witness, The information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
Hold it!
Hold it! A man. Who was this man? You couldn't see? She's used that excuse twice now. Lantern light. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. There weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. Hold it! You don't mean... Was it blood? She's saying that's when Miss Dunham, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer? At that moment I was paralyzed with fear, just sitting there in the snow. Her blood got on everything around me.
Hold it!
Hold it! What happened next? I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. Wait a minute. I'm not buying this. Objection, Your Honor. So it was a man standing behind your attacker. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed you. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Dunham, otherwise known as Misty Fey, your own mother. Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Maya. On the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. Mr. Godot, please explain this. I know that, Godot. You need to remind me.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it. If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. May I? Recall the witness's testimony about her attacker. She said that she didn't know that if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person. Despite it being so dark, she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. Am I saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions? Yes!
Objection!
Yes, I do, Godot.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. There are some things that you only can see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him. Yes. There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Wanna call my bluff? Fine. I'll play your game, Godot. Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I cannot let him get away with it. At all. And I have no intention of doing so. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. Gladly, Your Honor. That's actually someone we don't know. In fact,
Take that!
watch this, everyone. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? How do I propose to show something like that? It's quite easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. Watch this, everyone. Check this out. There you go. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night, was it 3 glowing red lights? Answer the question now. Maya. What?
Objection!
Well then, let's continue with the testimony. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had already changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone. All the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up as well. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. If you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Gladly, Your Honor. I'm gonna tear that testimony into tiny little shreds. Hold it! So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right? So then the person that carried you into the inner temple could have only been the killer. So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. Hold it! Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. Looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather more information before I ask her again. Hold it! Torches were lit? I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. Who else could it have been? The killer probably lit them since it's impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's still one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who will gain anything from that would be the only person who was in the inner temple, Maya. Hold it! You're saying the killer cleaned up the snow. Snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use. There's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. However, there's something that bothers me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true. Could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. Looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue. Hold it! So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right? But earlier, you clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker. The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble, moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene, but for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. Hold it! Naturally, the killer must have done it, correct? Why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? Must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. You felt something. Felt like the killer was hiding the evidence from me for my sake. What? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. She definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened? That is an important piece of information. Hold it! They did it for your sake? If the body and the blood hadn't been removed, would have been immediately been prime suspects. Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems as well. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Karain killed my own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it. But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? I'm not buying it. I am definitely not buying it. No.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. The body of Elise Dunham was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe that it was all done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why did they wipe the writing off the lantern? The fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Nope. Actually, yes. But it doesn't make any sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow and then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection!
Do I have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Yes. Why would this killer remove the body and remove all that snow? Oh, that's an easy one. I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Gladly, Your Honor. Why'd the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? Right here. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. Exactly. No way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There's no way any normal person would. Here's the question, though. What if that person had messed up eyesight? If their eyesight was messed up, then there's no way they would have actually been able to see the writing on the lantern. There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
Take that!
Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I'd like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. Nonsense. Clean as a whistle. Bingo! Right there. He didn't notice the blood. Main reason why he can't see the color red. There's your reason why. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations. This is the apron that the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. And somehow spilled coffee on it. Why haven't you explained the bloodstain to the court? Right there. He wasn't playing games. He can't see the color red. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. In a black and white photo, these letters would have appeared black to me. Wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern?